Well, I think there's an issue that people aren't talking about with gay marriage. There's a lot of things that they beat around the bush with.
My personal feeling is that there's a big difference between fantasy land and reality. Fantasy land is what we do. You're either writing something, writing a song, writing a book.
Remember Snake Plissken from Escape from New York? Well, Kurt Russell's latest escape act might be his most daring yet, breaking free from Hollywood's unwritten rules. The man who once saved the president is now trying to save cinema itself. Let's make a deal. If you smiled, learned something, or had an aha moment, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Don't leave me hanging. Did you hit it? Cool, thanks. Now, let's dive back in, but at what cost? As we dive into Russell's stand against woke culture, we'll see how one of Hollywood's golden boys became its biggest rebel, and trust me, you won't believe what he said about gender fluidity. Kurt Russell's been acting forever, right? But now he's not just playing tough guys on screen, he's living it. Hollywood's got these unwritten rules, and Kurt's saying, nah, I'm out. It's like Snake Plissken escaped from New York and decided to take on the whole movie industry. So what's got Hollywood's panties in a bunch?
Doing a movie, doing a television show, that's fantasy land. And that's where that stuff belongs.
I'm a libertarian, so my beef with advantages given to anybody because they happen to live together and have a ring and have had a ceremony. I don't think married couples should get an advantage of any kind.
Kurt's not afraid to speak his mind, and he's got some pretty wild ideas about what's wrong with movies these days. You won't believe what he said about gender stuff. It's got people talking, that's for sure. But here's the thing, Kurt's not just running his mouth. Turns out there's some serious brains behind those movie star looks. The guy's got knowledge about history, politics, and philosophy. When he starts arguing against the woke movement, he's not just throwing out random opinions, he's backing it up with facts and well thought out arguments. And man, is it causing drama on set. Directors are freaking out. There's reports of Kurt clashing with people who are all about those woke ideologies. It's like a showdown between old school Hollywood and the new guard.
I've been thinking a lot about some of the distressing issues that we are facing collectively, whether we're talking about gender inequality or racism or queer rights.
But it's not with gay marriage, it's with why does anybody get an advantage over anybody else because they happen to live with somebody and have a family? I don't follow that.
Kurt's not backing down though. In a recent interview, he went off about gun control. He said, if you think gun control or something like that is gonna change a terrorist point of view, I think you're like out of your mind. That's Kurt for you, straight to the point, no sugarcoating. But Hollywood's not taking this lying down. There's pressure coming from all sides to shut Kurt up. Organized campaigns from the Hollywood elite trying to silence him. But Kurt's not having it. He's like one of those anti-heroes he plays. The lone wolf standing up against the system. And you know what? Kurt's walking the walk. He's turning down roles that don't fit with his values. It's not just talk for him. He's putting his career on the line for what he believes in.
And it can humiliate you, it can be humbling. I mean, it does rip your life to pieces if you'll let it.
Founding fathers had for the Second Amendment, and that is that no government ever hasn't had to fight its own people, and its own people hasn't had to fight its own government.
So how did Kurt Russell go from being Hollywood's golden boy to its biggest critic? It's like watching one of his movies unfold in real life. And just like in the movies, Kurt's not backing down, he's just getting started. This isn't just about acting anymore. It's about standing up for what you believe in, even when the whole system's against you. And that's a role Kurt Russell seems born to play. Hollywood's got a dirty little secret. Speak out against the woke agenda, and you might never work in this town again. Kurt Russell's not the first to face the music, but he might be the loudest. What's really going on behind the scenes that's got Disney execs sweating? Kurt's not alone in this fight against Hollywood's woke culture. Other big names like Mel Gibson and Jon Voight have felt the heat too. These guys used to be A-listers, but once they started speaking their minds, suddenly their phones stopped ringing. It's like Hollywood's got some kind of blacklist for anyone who doesn't toe the line. Now Kurt's in the crosshairs, and it's getting ugly. Word on the street is that Disney's not happy with his anti-woke stance.
If you win, right, come up, accept your little award, thank your agent and your God.
If that Second Amendment hadn't been there, those people would not have had the opportunity to do what they considered was defending their life, their way, their stuff.
There's rumors flying around that his long-standing contract with the Mouse House might be coming to an end. Can you believe it? One of Hollywood's most beloved actors might get kicked to the curb just for speaking his mind. But here's the thing about Kurt. He's not out there trying to start fights. He's just saying what he thinks, backing it up with facts, and refusing to back down. But that doesn't mean people aren't trying to take him down. There's this whole hidden commandment in Hollywood that says you're not supposed to challenge the woke narrative. It's like some kind of secret club, and Kurt's not playing by their rules.
Yeah, that's listen, never ruin a good story with the truth.
Oh, really?
So I'm not going to say that didn't happen.
Sometimes you get what you feel is slightly ambushed by somebody who's really got an agenda, and that's sort of, I think, that's my opinion of what happened to me the other day.
The woke mob's coming at him hard. They're calling him insensitive, unreasonable, all sorts of nasty stuff, but Kurt's not backing down. He's got some tricks up his sleeve. Instead of getting into Twitter fights or making a scene, he's just quietly walking away from roles that don't fit his values. It's like he's saying, you want to push your agenda? Fine, but count me out. So how did Kurt Russell go from being Hollywood's golden boy to its biggest critic? It's not like he woke up one day and decided to torch his career. Nah, this has been building for years. Every time he saw a script that pushed an agenda instead of telling a good story, every time he heard about another actor getting canceled for having the wrong opinion, it just added fuel to the fire.
And they'll really look you over, but the closer they get, especially if they're coming from the line and they get all of a sudden, then they never look at you. They look down.
The last thing I like to watch is entertainers or actors get political. It's just something I can't stand watching.
Now, it's not just about movies anymore. Kurt's become a symbol in this culture war. He's standing up for what movies used to be. Stories that entertained us, made us think, without shoving a message down our throats. And you know what? A lot of people are listening. Maybe that's what's got Hollywood so scared. Kurt Russell isn't just fighting for himself. He's fighting for what movies used to be, and a lot of folks are rooting for him. So here's the deal with Kurt Russell. He's not just fighting his own battle. He's standing up for what movies used to be.
Well, you can look. If you think gun control or something like that is going to change a terrorist point of view, I think you're like out of your mind. Yeah, kind of
kick it in.
Kick it in a little bit. It's like, what are you thinking? When we at that point we just start talking about Daisy and John and.
Remember when films were about telling great stories, not pushing agendas? That's what Kurt's all about. And you know what? People are listening. Love him or hate him, Kurt's got everyone talking. And maybe that's the whole point. He's stirring the pot, making us think about what we want from our entertainment. Is it just mindless fun, or should it have a message? And if it does have a message, who gets to decide what that message is?
And they said, do you want to report this? And I said, look, I can't identify it. It's flying and it's 6 objects. So that's what it is, right?
I'm kind of tossing things around here as I go. But anyway, we were interrupted with flashlight work, and so I said, guys, come on.
Kurt's stance might be costing him roles, but it's earning him a new kind of respect. He's showing that sometimes standing up for what you believe in is more important than staying in everyone's good books. And in a world where it feels like everyone's trying to play it safe, that's pretty refreshing.